Hey guys, so I am back. If you guys are wondering why this video is going up late, it's because I literally was not around. I was out of town, so I could not record these videos right as the update happened. So we're going to go ahead and knock these out right now. I'm going to record this video, then after this I'm going to jump right into summons, and then we'll do showcases. I think this video will go up right as I record this, and then summons and the showcase will probably go up tomorrow because it's already pretty late by the time I'll be recording this video here. Literally just got home, so anyway, we're going to be breaking down Evolution Blue Vegeta as well as the new EX Jiren, and then we're going to be talking about the banner a little bit as well here. So to start things off with, this guy's actually already out in game, if you guys didn't know already. I'm recording this video Wednesday night, so he came out this morning, so he's been out for almost a full day at this point. So we sort of have a decent idea of how good this guy is. And this is really the first breakdown video I'm doing where I personally haven't used him yet. I haven't even summoned yet. But I sort of have predetermined knowledge on how good he is by looking at people's footage using him, seeing people's opinions about him on social media. So this is going to be a bit of a different breakdown video because how long this is. This is not like my first impressions of the character. I looked at his kit yesterday when his info dropped. But it still should be the same. I mean, I haven't used him yet, so I don't actually have, like, the experience yet. So first of all, his stats. Something I actually do want to do is I want to compare him to, for obviously him being yellow is a big point of contention that I think people have. I'm going to compare him directly to Gogeta Blue, even though he's not a melee type, he's a range type. But just because of the coloring, I think it's appropriate to compare him to him. And then I also do want to compare him to, if I can find him, let me actually sort by yellow here. I'm going to also compare him to this guy as well. And just to look at this overall list, so not including Ultra characters, he is number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the list, which is pretty good in terms of his stat spread. So let's take a look at him and we'll compare him to number 1 Vegeta and Gogeta Blue on his respective teams he would fit on here. Because I feel like they revealed that he was yellow, and a lot of people were not very happy with that decision. Honestly, I think it's a pretty poor decision, like just overall looking at it from an objective standpoint. Would have preferred something like green, I think it would have been better. Even, honestly, purple would have been better, I think. Yellow was not really on top of my list in terms of colors that I wanted for him. But, you know, people are automatically writing him off because he's competitive with other units that are yellow, and I don't know if that's fair to do. But 252,000 blast attack is his main offensive stat at 14 stars is actually not that good. I would have expected a little bit more from this guy. And then 248 strike. So actually his strike is relatively equal, more or less, to his blast attack. So because his, just to cheat a little bit, because his damage buffs are not specifically blast based, you can kind of build him either way. Like you could build this guy strike based if you want to. Both defenses are okay. I wouldn't say this is spectacular. Like if you compare this guy to Gogeta Blue stats, right? it's so much, like his stats are so much lower. 263 for his main offensive stat. It's a whole 10,000 higher than his main offensive stat. And then even his blast attack is 257. And it's not like his defenses are bad. They're both above 160. So, I don't know. I feel like they held back with this guy's stats a little bit. And that's, you know, when I first saw this guy's kit, I was looking at his stats and was like, all right, well, hopefully his kit can make up for this. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit because people keep saying that I should zoom in. Easier to see it this way. Okay. So, those are his stats. His main ability is now you can finally see my all. Draw the Ultimate Arts card, limit breaking below next. Heals by 35%, which is actually a decent amount. Again, comparing him like directly to Gogeta and stuff like that. Gogeta heals for 30. Actually, that is also a lot. I didn't realize Gogeta healed for that much. But 35 is better. And then this guy has a team heal. 20% to special move, awaken, and ultimate damage inflicted by allies. So he has like the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta sort of ability there. Applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 counts. So that's sort of like the LF Majin Vegeta, LF Dragon Ball Super Broly effect from the main ability. So pretty powerful. This guy could obviously string together a lot of combos. We'll get to that in a second, but a way to leverage that and to allow him to continue those combos without getting impeded by cover changes is to make use of this right here. Alright, so his first unique ability is Shattering Through Limits. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. He gets 90% damage inflicted cannot be canceled, which is actually pretty good. It's pretty high. I think this is like LF Kid Buu gets this also. So 90% is a lot. Reduces damage received by 30%, pretty good. Again, 30% is the level where I'm comfortable saying like that's going to be very, very noticeable. Applies the following effects to self if own key is 35 or lower after using an arts card. This is the effect that like literally makes this character who he is. Like a lot of LFs have like a defining trait to them, and I think this is the like far and away the biggest defining trait of Evolution Blue Vegeta here is this one right here. So he gets 20 ki back, as well as 25% of damage inflicted for 15 counts whenever he uses a card when his ki is 35 or lower, and it's after using an arts card. So let's just say, for example, he has 50 ki, and you use a card, let's just say use a blast card that costs 23 ki, right? The blast card that costs 23 ki will take your 50 ki and lower it to 27. So because that 27 ki is lower than 35, you'll actually end up gaining 20 ki from using that blast card. So this basically means he has unlimited ki in a way. This character will never run out of ki. Like I've already seen people create videos on the setup where you do Future Gohan, Yellow Future Gohan, and the Zenkai Legends Lord Piccolo, both giving him card draw speed. So you can have double card draw speed on this Vegeta. He will literally never run out of ki. Even with double card draw speed, he will run out of cards before he runs out of ki. So basically the way that I see this part of his unique ability here is he has no possible way to run out of ki. Unless like Vados uses a bunch of green cards, something like that. Unless an enemy specifically uses an ability to reduce your ki below a certain amount, you will never naturally run out of ki, which is insane. Like this is the first time we're seeing something like this that does this. Beerus, LF Beerus, has a similar effect to this, but it's just ki recovery. It doesn't give you a set amount of ki like this guy does. And on top of it, he's getting damage. So this can very quickly get out of hand. And this effect right here is the reason why this character does not have built-in card draw speed to his kit. Because if this guy had built-in card draw speed, he would be like a top 2 unit in the game or something. Like Kaba is getting a Zenkai Awakening. I think it's probably going to be next week because it didn't come out this week, because they already talked about it during the video and stuff, as well as they announced it in V-Jump. Like, are they gonna like let Kaba give Vegeta's card draw speed or something like that? That would be insane for this character. Like this character really wants card draw speed, and there's other parts of this guy's kit that you can see they intentionally sort of didn't give him the normal things they would give to other characters. For example, his main ability doesn't give him ki, right? And the reason for that is because he doesn't need it because of this effect. So like I feel like they compensated other parts of his kit to be not as good as they would be because of this. Like this is one of the single most ridiculous effects in the entire game. And I remember when I first looked at this guy's kit when his info was released last night, and I wasn't really that impressed overall with his kit, but I highlighted this right here and I said, depending on how this works, because we didn't know if this was, you know, something that only happened once, or I assumed it was infinite times because it didn't say once only. But assuming this works like the way we think it would work, which it does, like this guy's gonna be ridiculous, but I feel like everything else besides this effect here is like honestly pretty mediocre. And we'll take a look at this in a second. So the next effect is, while this character's on the battlefield, applies the following effects to self when causing a character with a revives when health reaches 0 effect to revive. So this is the second character that's done this. The first character is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So we can sort of compare the effects here. This is Gogeta's effect. So Gogeta, when popping a revival on an enemy, he heals for 20% of his health and he gains 2 Dragon Balls. On the other hand, Vegeta, is this the right Vegeta? No, this is this one. On the other hand, Vegeta, he nullifies own unfavorable element factors for 30 counts, and then he reduces enemies' Dragon Balls by 2. So sort of like the opposite effect of the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Me personally, I would rather have I think I'd rather take Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's revival nullification quote unquote effect over Evolution Blue Vegeta. I think when you compare the first one, like healing 20% versus getting 30 counts of type nullification, I think I'd rather have the type nullification. I think that beats out the heal for me. But the second effect, like, would you rather reduce your enemy's Dragon Balls by 2, or would you rather gain 2 Dragon Balls? I think I'd rather gain 2 Dragon Balls every single time, like very, very easy. Like that's an easy decision for me. Because what this allows you to do is this allows you to freely rush revival characters and not have to worry about, you know, sort of quote unquote wasting your rush, because you'll get reimbursed 2 Dragon Balls for that. Not saying Vegeta's effect is bad, because it's actually pretty decent, but I think when you directly compare Vegeta's revive nullification effect to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does a little better. Sparking Power is the second unique ability. The following effects occur when changing cover. Randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws a special move arts card next. Activates once. He gets 20% cover cut. And then he has a cover change against blast cards, which is chainable into a blue card, which is convenient because he draws one. So that's pretty powerful. Like, there are times where an enemy will maybe combo a blast card from long range or mid range, and if you're able to see that and react to that in time, like, you can get a guaranteed blue card hit on them. And on top of that, the blue card is type neutral, so if they switch into a character that's red, it'll still do decent damage. Like, I've seen footage of this character, like, essentially one-shotting LF Corrupted Zamasus with this blue card because he goes type neutral. But the following effects occur when an enemy switches characters while this character is on the battlefield. This is another very powerful effect here. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards, and then he gets 20% damage for 15 counts. Now this is very, very similar. Let's see if I can find him here. He's very, very similar to the... Come on, where are you? Purple Demon King Piccolo. Oh, there he is. So him transformed has it might even be the same exact thing. Yeah, randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. 20% damage for 15 counts. Is that the same? I think it might actually be the exact same. Yeah, it is the exact same, except Demon King Piccolo also gets 20 ki. So Demon King Piccolo is a little better technically, but again, Vegeta does not need the ki because of the effect we talked about earlier. This effect right here. He doesn't need ki anywhere in his kit because of this. So it's pretty much the exact same effect as Purple Demon King Piccolo. If you guys used Purple Demon King Piccolo at all, if you fought against him, you know how powerful that is. So it's like a mini Zenkai 18 effect. So this guy's kit is honestly, like, if you discount this and you just looked at everything he's doing without considering this, it's honestly not that impressive for an LF character and a character as hype as Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like, I would say this guy's kit is honestly not that impressive to me, but it's like, this effect is so ridiculous that it doesn't matter what else he's doing, pretty much. Like, this by itself is enough to make this character good on its own. So, yeah. He also has an effect on his blast card that reduces enemy ki by 30. I mean, this is not bad, but it's not like, you know, Red Frieza, who reduces enemy ki by 50. Like, once you get to like 50, that's when it starts getting really annoying. 30 is still noticeable, I think, but it's not like game defining. I would have preferred, like, reduces his cost of his blue card or something like that. Like, I know, is it Kid Buu that has that? I think LF Kid Buu has an effect that, like, reduces the cost of his blue card when he uses his blast card or something like that. Yeah, or reduces his own blast cost. Like, I'd rather have, well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't rather have this because, again, ki and cost doesn't really matter for Vegeta, but any kind of, like, damaging effect, I think I would have preferred over something like this. I mean, it can be good, but by the time you chain together multiple blast cards, like, your enemy's already regained a lot of the ki that they've lost from this effect. So the blue card is Final Flash. This is actually teachable. Interesting. It deals massive damage. He actually goes type neutral on this, we mentioned earlier. Then it seals blast cards, which is interesting because then your enemy can't match your blast cards from long range. So you can immediately go for a blast after this and not have to worry about your enemy matching that. They pretty much have to vanish. They have no way to match it unless they also have a blue card and they can override your blast. But pretty good effects on the blue card there. Then the green card, full power release. So he draws one card randomly. He heals for 10%, which is okay. 25% of damage inflicted for 30 counts. Cannot be stacked, cannot be canceled. So that's pretty good. And then he actually gains 20% to reduce damage received for 30 counts, which also cannot be canceled. So if you combine this 20% and this 20% and then this 30%, that's like, what is that? 70% reduces damage received on cover change. It's pretty good. And I think in a situation where you have the green card buff active, you can pretty much switch in to a rush and expect to live it pretty easily. With a 70% damage cut buff effect, like you're pretty confidently gonna live a rush, I think. So that's pretty good. I don't think this green card is like ridiculously powerful, but it's definitely really useful in terms of like surviving rising rushes. Then his ultimate is the limit breaking blow. He actually does get supreme damage, which is pretty important. Applies the flying effects to self-spawn activation, so he gets 20% ultimate damage inflicted. And the reason why it's so low is because he already gets the additional 20% buff from his main ability here. So this factors into the damage also. So he's basically getting 40%, right, from the popping the ultimate pretty much. And then on top of that, he's nullifying endurance, has blast armor, 50% or minus 50% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. Honestly, this should have been 100. And I don't know why it's 50. But it's a powerful ultimate because of the supreme damage. And then he has a blast and a strike, and then the blast one has 20% of blast damage inflicted for 2 counts, and then he ends up buffing USS, God Key, and Vegeta family blast attack and strike defense, so pretty good. But yeah, overall, I mean, again, I haven't used this character yet. I don't even have him yet, but from everything that I've seen from people, footage, comments, opinions, he seems pretty good. And again, in terms of going back to my comparison between Yellow Vegeta and Blue Gogeta, not this guy, let's get rid of him. If you're talking about God Key specifically, and whether or not Blue Vegeta replaces Gogeta Blue on God Key, I think it depends on your setup. I think with Vados specifically, this Evolution Blue Vegeta actually does not synergize that well with Vados. Vados gives you a bunch of ki when you switch in, and this guy doesn't want a lot of ki. Like, ideally, the ideal scenario for this character is you're sitting at like 50 ki, which is going to trigger this effect every single time you use a card. Remember, this effect does not only trigger on just strikes or blasts, it also triggers on blue cards and green cards. So like, even if you pop a green card in the middle of a combo, like you'll draw a card and you'll activate this effect, which is going to give you extra ki, so basically makes the green card free, and then it gives you an extra 20% damage buff. So if you pop the green card with this buff, you know, with your ki in the range to activate this buff, you're going to be getting 25% plus 20%. So you're going to be getting 50% damage from this, pretty much. So with this character, you don't want to get all that ki on switch out. So I think if you're running Vados, I feel like Gogeta Blue probably is a better choice. But I think overall, as a character and as an overall like the kit, if you could directly compare like this guy's kit to Gogeta Blue's kit, I actually think I like Vegeta a little better. It's actually really close. It is close. It's gonna depend on stars. It's gonna depend on who you like, stuff like that. But in a strict head-to-head competition, if you have both of the same amount of stars, I think I do like Vegeta better. But again, this is before I've used him, so I can't really say for sure. But I think most people do like running Vados on God Key. So I think the synergy between Gogeta and Vados is definitely better than Vegeta and Vados. But maybe they want to sort of shy away from the Vados-centric God Key team, which is fine. Maybe you just want to run this guy with, like, I don't know, Revival Goku and, like, Red Zamasu or something. I don't know. But this guy's definitely really, really powerful, and I'm excited to start using him. Alright, let's move on to Jiren. I'm not really going to spend too much time on this guy. I don't know how I feel about him. He has, I think, the highest stats for an EX, obviously besides Goku transformed. But they definitely did not hold back with this Jiren. So, first of all, he's a defense type, so automatically his like offensive stats are not going to be that great. 242 blast decks, like okay. 160k pretty much to both defenses is pretty good as for an EX, and his strike is okay, I guess. His main ability is Resolve of the Mighty, dry special arts card next, so a green card. 20% of damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. This is also permanent, by the way, so is this, the -5 to strike and blast arts cost. And then he shortens sub count by 3 to himself for 20 counts. That means if you pop this main ability, and then you switch out, he'll have 7 counts left until he can switch back in. But this is definitely a main ability you want to pop sooner rather than later because of the permanent buffs here. Just getting the extra 20% damage and then the minus cost. Alright, first unique is Ace of Universe 11, so he gets 40% extra damage against Sun Family and God Key, which is actually really good. That covers... You realize how much of the game this covers? Every Goku, every Gohan, every Goten. Like, every single god form of Goku and Vegeta, every God of Destruction, UI, like, it covers a lot. Like, Goku Black, like, this is a very, very, very far-reaching set of characters. And then he gets the following effects when battle starts. He gets 90% to damage inflicted. That is the same as LF Evolution Blue Vegeta. He gets the same damage buff for just existing. Then he gets 30% reduced damage received, which is actually also the same as Evolution Blue Vegeta. And then he gets 40% to ki recovery, which is interesting. That's pretty good. Then he gets the falling effects when this character enters the battlefield, so he just heals 5% health. And then he gets an additional damage buff separately to his blue card. So he's getting 90% plus extra 40% to, you know, a lot of the game. And then an extra 40% on top of that to his blue card. So his blue card is going to be hitting very hard. Plus an extra 20% from this if you pop this. Okay. Second unique is Dauntless Spirit. The following effects occur when changing cover. So reduces damage received by 30%. So he's going to have 60% reduced damage received on cover cut or on cover change because of the flat 30% plus the conditional 30% when changing cover. Then he has type neutrality. I feel like Red Deborah has this too. Actually, let me check. I don't remember the last time I used Red Deborah. He's a good bench unit, but pretty sure he has like a similar ability to that in his kit. Let me just check. Yeah. When faced with a blue enemy. Okay. It's pretty similar. Activates 4 times. Okay. And then he reduces enemy ki by 20, which is definitely helpful in ending a combo faster. And the following effects occur after enemy attack is over. He gets 20% damage, and then another 20% damage to all allied USS or rival universe for 15 counts. Do you guys realize how much damage this guy has in his kit? Like, again, 20%, 40% conditional, but it's very easy to get. 90% just for everything. 40% special move damage. 20% of getting hit. 20% to his whole team. So, it's a lot of damage. Then he also has Blast Armor, which is, you know, not crazy because the existing Sparking Jiren has Blast Armor. Then his blue card does massive damage, and then it applies a debuff on activation that inflicts the enemy with 30% damage received for 20 counts, and it has Blast Armor. Do you guys realize how much damage this blue card's going to do? So, again, all these damage buffs, plus the blue card's getting its own buff, plus it's giving the debuff to the enemy on activation, which is going to factor into its own damage, and it's massive. Like, this is one of the harder hitting blue cards in the game. And there's a reason why they don't make this teachable, by the way. I feel like this is probably one of the better blue cards to teach if it was teachable. Then his green card is 15% healing and 30 ki and cancel. Like, this is a really solid green card, and it's a stop time. Stop times, like, honestly, I feel like this is a much better green card for this Jiren than the Sparking green card is. Reason being is because of this. If you can stop time with a character that has strike card Blast Armor, like, it's much easier to land and start the combos with them. Like the existing green sparking Jiren, his green card's really good if you can land it, but it's not a stop time. So it's not going to allow you to start and extend combos out. Whereas this one, you can like float to mid-range, pop the green card, and then if you see an exclamation point, you just go for the strike card. So I feel like this is actually a better green card for Jiren and for a unit that has blast armor than the sparking one has. So, and the fact that he also guaranteed draws one, right, from his main ability, means you can go into mid-range, pop your main ability, maybe they're not doing anything, okay, you draw a green card, use the green card, and then you can look again, you can stop time again, so do 2 times in a row with your green card, and then, more often than not, I imagine there will be an exclamation point where you can use the strike card. So, this guy's kit does look like it'll work really, really well together. And in terms of the Z ability, he does Rival Universe or USS. Strike and Blast, does double defense. Okay. It's only 32%, so not the craziest Z ability, but I feel like this character's actually like really good. I do not think he's better than Kuwa. Obviously, Kuwa is just ridiculous. Like I legitimately think Kuwa is Z tier. Like top 3 unit in the game or something. Like he's ridiculous. Especially because of the meta being hybrids right now. If the meta wasn't hybrid, I wouldn't say that, but this Jiren's really powerful. This is like a new sparking level kit. It's ridiculously good. Okay, so the banner, the time to evolve, huh? Okay. So they changed the format a little bit. Obviously, they kept the pity coins, so that's the same as the Frieza banner. They added back the free multi, which is definitely really, really nice. The only thing is they sort of like changed up the format here. So you spend 300 crystals, but you're only getting 3 characters. Then you spend 500 for 5 characters, 700 for 7. So at the end of the day, every single step is just giving you 1 character per 100 crystals spent. So it's not the best thing ever, but I think the fact that they added back the free multi at the end technically does make this a better format than we've had with like full power Frieza and even the anniversary banners. Like the free multi is definitely very, very valuable here. But it's not like spectacular. It's still not like, I would say, at that level which we would want it to be at yet. So 17 and 18 returning for the first time, but their pull rates are nothing because for some reason they don't want to feature sparking characters on banners anymore. In terms of the LFs on here, UI Goku, Majin Vegeta, Vegeta Blue, Gogeta Blue, this green Vegeta, and then Beerus. But I don't know. I would probably say this is not a very good banner to summon on. If you guys want to summon on this, go ahead. I don't... Like, we talked about this Vegeta earlier in the video. I don't think he's, like, necessary for his teams, right? Gogeta, you can get rid of this. Gogeta, you can really go either way. It's not like this Vegeta's gonna straight up replace Gogeta. You can use either. This guy serves a completely different role on his teams, you know, on Saiyans, on Vegeta family, than Evolution Blue Vegeta does. I feel like Evolution Blue Vegeta is probably the better pick for Vegeta family over this guy. But the team so badly needs a defensive option that I don't know. Like, we take a look at the Vegeta family team here. Like, what defensive option do you have other than this guy? The answer is, like, nothing. Like, you're not going to use Rage Trunks. And other than him, who else is there to use defensively here? No one. So I think you're honestly forced to use number 1 Vegeta if you want a defensive option for this team, which you definitely do want. So, I mean, I guess you could do like yellow, blue. You could do like number 1 Vegeta, Evolution Blue Vegeta, and then like LF Majin Vegeta. You could do like a yellow, blue setup. I don't know how well that would work. It would probably be okay. But it's still not there yet. Like, the Vegeta family team definitely got a buff from this guy coming out, but it's not the buff to the level that we wanted, I don't think. So, in terms of summoning on the banner, again, it's the thing where, like, the only new character is the new LF and an EX. they need to actually release like new sparkings on the banner that's not an LF. Like imagine if they did Vegeta, EX Jiren, and then like a sparking God of Destruction Topo. That's it. That's all you need to do. And if they don't want to do a new character like that, like they want to save Topo for something in the future, what if they just do like, I don't know, a new, like just a new regular Topo? So you could do EX Jiren, LF Vegeta, and then a sparking Topo. That's it. Like, give us new sparkings on the banner that's not just an LF. Like, we need other stuff to aim for here. We can't just be doing this forever. Because this is now the third banner that is doing this formula, right? We had LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku that did this. He was the only sparking that dropped on that banner. That was new. We had LF Full Power Frieza that dropped on his banner. He was the only new sparking on his banner. Plus the EX, Super Saiyan Goku. Now we have this one, which, the only new sparking character is this Vegeta, the LF, with EX Jiren. I really do not want them to continue this pattern. I would much rather them actually release sparkings that are worth chasing on banners. Like, we just talked about this guy. This guy was a secondary sparking on his banner, right? He came out with LF Kid Buu. That was looking back at that banner, like that was a phenomenal banner to summon on. This guy being like a new sparking 1% rate, Kid Buu being arguably the best LF in the game. Like, pretty good value banner there. This one is just not there, so I would probably say skip the banner. But if you're like a giant Vegeta fan, then this is a very, very hype character. I'm not going to blame you guys for summoning, obviously. I'm just, from a perspective of somebody who's telling you value-wise what I think it's probably better just to skip this, because there's going to be another LF in like a month. So anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know, again, it's a little bit late, but I'd rather do it late than not at all. So see you guys all in the next one.